Good morning, traders, and welcome to the
How can you see what's happening
Bookmap
in the market?
live trading webinar. Actually, it's
Good morning,
incorrect here.
traders, and welcome
To
How
the
can you see what's happening
Bookmap.
in the market?
We have JTrader today. He will be going through his stock trades and how he uses Bookmap and reads order flow, his very specific setups, and trade management as well. He always comes in a little late. He's finishing up his room. He does offer mentoring services. You can, I'll put this into the chat if you are interested in reaching out to him directly in the way that he trades, order flow and Bookmap. All
Good
right.
morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Joseph. There you are, right off the bat. Excellent.
Yeah, I got in a little bit earlier today.
Okay, excellent. So let's kick it off here, and let me share your screen, and then I will share mine as well,
Okay.
or yours, okay, in Discord.
Okay, let me know, Bruce, if you can see the screen.
Yes, and let me pop it out. All right, you guys should be able to see it now, and we should all be good to go here. Okay, excellent.
Okay,
All right, take it away, Joseph.
thank you. So, good morning, everybody, first of all. Remember, today we have the Fed talking, and I was very conservative in trading this morning. I don't really want to trade during the Fed because we don't know what can happen. So I'm talking about the usual stock that I trade every single day, which, for example, are Tesla, Apple, Nvidia, all of these, all right? So not really looking for those. I instead look this morning for the earning play, and I was looking into Uber, and I'm actually still short. The pre-market plan that I made on Uber and I made on MRNA worked pretty good. So we're going to review together the setup that we had. So three things I had this morning, and I just want to show and make understand traders over here. MRNA, all right, I'm looking for an over under, so a short at the gate. Uber, I'm looking for an over under or FFT at the gate. We had a J-line rejection. And then we had RVSN, which I was looking to long on dips, and I will explain why.
Joseph, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I forgot to go over the risk disclosure and disclaimer. So if you can just bear with me for a moment here,
Yes,
and
of course.
let me cover that. That's important, so everyone knows what they're getting involved into here. So just a second. Yeah, you kind of caught me off guard. We usually go through all of this before you join. Anyway, so because this is live trading in here, so you guys have to understand what you're getting involved into, and what our process is here. It is for educational purposes only. So general disclosure. All Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Live trading is in simulation, demo, paper trading mode, and strictly for educational purposes. Live trading executed in simulation cannot accurately represent realistic trading performance. Risk disclosure. Trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security nor lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. With that said, I know what you're getting involved into, and we'll turn it right back over to JTrader. Sorry about that, Joseph.
Problem. Thank you, Bruce, over here. So, traders, Uber had earnings, and I was looking this morning for how it played during the earnings, right? So let's check together over here. So over here we have Uber, and we can see over here how it performed in the past. This is with gappers at 2%. And then if I scroll down over here, I can look how it performed during the earnings. If I look at gap stats and I see gaps above over here, 2% with at least 5 million volume traded, I can see that we had a count on Uber of 77 gaps and 55 closed green and 45% of the time closed red, right? So 55% green, 45% red. Basically, it's a 50-50. So that's the reason for me this morning that I was looking for or a long or a short. Now, if I have to say the buys that I had primarily, and this is what I basically been saying all morning, is that the trend is down. So I'm not really looking too long unless I have the favorable setup. And also because I start seeing on these earnings in the last quarter that being that we are often downtrend, MRNA the same. I mean, MRNA in the last 6 months lost like 56%. 56%. And somebody will tell me, Jay, but how is it possible that they lost so much if their sales went up like so many times for the COVID vaccine and everything? Well, 2020-21 was the main year for them, around 1.5 years of timeline. And then it started like to fade from 500 plus all the way down. Now, Uber is basically having a gap this morning and sell the new scenario. And if we look over here now on the news, we can see revenue of 6.9 billion beats by 800 million. So everybody would think this morning, wow, we're gonna simply over here long this because the news is good, right? And this is the retail trader, is the beginner trader that comes into the market and simply thinks that because they had good earnings, it's gonna go up. The point is, it depends really how the market reacts on the news. So yesterday, this was unexpected. So yesterday was pretty lateral all day. You can see over here, basically was at 29.50 and 30. And then look what happened at 4 o'clock. Boom, down. Dumped. And it went down over here 3 points. This morning, we had a small gap. We went green. So this red line that you see is above yesterday high, yesterday close. And then this morning started to fade. It started to fade. And we had some terrific setups. Looking over here, and I'm going to use a 1 minute chart. I was looking this morning for a short below this level, 27.80. So the price over here, I started to fill below 27.80. And then at the gate, we had a push. You can see traders just into that 27.75 over here. And you can see that start fading, right? Start to fade, coming down over here. So I saw more sellers. It basically held over here a dip at 26.84. It popped to the 27, so it was making lower highs, lower lows. And from that moment, so from here, this 27.75, we unwinded all down to the 25.90, which was the previous support, remember? Okay? So look what happened at that level. I mean, somebody over here was soaking big, really soaking big. And why? No, you will expect it's coming down, say, why I see so much like buying over here? Because there were a lot of buyers that they think, because today we're going to have a discount on Uber with the good earnings, this is a good level where I want to buy. All right? And personally, I'm not that idea. I'm that idea that technicals and in this case, using also Bookmap gives me a better edge than to have a bias, right? So I read the news. I still track the news to see which earning is going up and down, or which fast track designation or agreement, or let's say phase 1, 2, 3, whatever, may have a bullish or a bearish, I would say, outcome. But the point is that then I always have to stick to technicals. So over here, we had a huge amount of soak, and this was around 940. Everybody, 940 over here, you can see we had a contraction, right? Each bar is a small bar. This is an inside bar, and then we have a breakout. So this is the first moment that we start making over here a higher low, right? Until that moment, over here we have all lower lows, and over here we have a higher low, but it's basically inside bar. Again, lower low, another lower low, and then we start. So we can see the trend line break over here, and I can see the trend line break over here. Start making this reversal pattern, and now we start bouncing. Did I take it the long? No. Did I take the short? Yes. So what happened over here? I was looking into a low risk entry, and I got in exactly here. Came down, came up, and I stopped over here. So my point was to look for a trend line break. In this moment, I was looking for this trend line break. I was looking also for this trend line break. So I decided over here, okay, let's try an attempt. Okay, not too big, not too big. I would say not too small. Just like, you know, a start of my position, and we got a stop break even because that was the risk management I had. Now it came up a second time, and this time I'm gonna put it over here like this. Okay, and this time, traders, you can see better over here how the price action worked. Okay, so we started to touch this 27. It was my resistance over here, this 27. I was watching for this level over here. And then I started seeing a lower high, and then I started seeing a lower high, and then I started seeing, okay, this is a little bit of break over here, right? We started seeing some sellers, and this is the best moment for me to take the short. So I waited for this bar to come down and complete, and I got in on this bar, exactly this bar over here. So just below this previous relative low. And we're talking about this level. And then I started to hold it, to hold it, to hold it. And I was looking for that 26. So it soaked up big. Again, you can see, bounced back up. And then they tried a second time and now bounced. I decided to cover here into the 26. And now I'm still holding. But I know that we have the support. So let's see together if we're going to have this, this breakdown over here. All right. So 26 is the level that I'm watching. I'm just going to zoom out over here to show you the pattern. A buyer came over here, 2606, went away, so it's spoofed. No, no. Has to be like this, all three below. Okay. Look, those buyers over here, a ton of buyers, 2610. If you look at the tape, you know, just looking at the times and sales, you would think, right, this is a very good moment where I start buying. As a matter of fact, it is, because we had a fake breakdown at 26. They soaked a ton. So a lot of sellers were absorbed. Over here, we had a ton of buyers. Buyers adding over here. So if I wouldn't be short, this 2610 area is where I would start like taking my long, because it's a very low risk. When it's 630, we're going to put a little bit more intraday resistances over here. So we have one over here, definitely. Yeah, and all in this area over here. This is our area of selling pressure, right? That's. So let's see if we can have a rejection of this 2640. Oops, sorry, traders. As of that resistance, 2650, and we still have a lot of buyers. Let's see if we can have a possible unwind here. For now, this is still a descending trend. So I have no reason to cover my entire position. We got this 2660, a little bit of more selling pressure. Just look at the tape over here. So some selling pressure, 2660. Nice rejection right now from this 2655. So they're trying to resist over here and shift back below. Leg down over here, 2630. This is simply perfect over here. Simply perfect. Now we don't have any more setups over here.
Yeah.
The only one is this.
Mm-hmm.
Like down at 30, more sellers. Tape is red. Oh, we can see again, liquidity stacked. So buyer stacked over here at 26th. They've been holding the support all day long, all day long. Again, we start seeing buyers when we start approaching the 2610, 2615. They find a support and start bouncing a little bit, but it's still in pretty good downtrend. We can have a break over here, the 2610. Test of 2610. Still a ton of buyers. You can see that tape. So many green. So after we'll talk about the play that I took, which is a short MRNA from 153 to 145, and I'm still holding almost half position. But here, these not anymore.
I know. Yeah. This one. Okay, right? For this. Mm-hmm.
Every time it gets to the red.
Yeah. Okay.
So we are in a wedge pattern for Uber. You can see it. In the last 30 minutes is lateral over here. So it's finding some, it's building some support in the 26, pretty important. This is the other stock that I've been trading today on news. So we had earnings again. Now I'm looking if we can have target 140. So this was a pretty big fader. Okay, so let's look for now different stock. RVSN, it was very clear to me this morning the reason why I was looking for a long. And besides the huge amount of volume that everybody can see, I mean, we had bars over here, 2.5 million. Yeah, 2.5, even 3 million over here. But we have a small float. So some websites are saying below 1 million, sorry. Some websites are saying 3 million. So it's hard really to, to know the perfect over here float. We can look at JTrader over here, and key stats, it tells me 126K float. All right. And the short float, so the short interest, it's pretty high, 31%. I never look into short something like this, right? I was looking also dilution tracker, RVSN. So their stats a little bit different because they're saying over here 3.79 million float, right? And over here you can see that today in pre-market, we traded 18 million float in pre-market. So in pre-market was 5 times flow rotated. I mean, with such flow rotation, with the short interest so high, and then also looking at the history of this because it's a recent IPO, I didn't want to short at all. So uptrend is strong. We just had a setup over here the last few minutes to add to a position long. Pre-market was pre-market was looking for both short and long because we were into this area. We were consolidating over here. Volume was super weak. So I was looking for this level over here to short. Then once we broke over here, I start having a long setup over here, a long setup over here, and now we have a long setup over here. At every dip. Still good volume. I believe this can go even above 250. So ideally, I would like to see a 3 on this. And this is the daily, right? So recent IPO, we don't really have any kind of big volume resistance. That's the reason why this could push up till 3. So don't short everything because it's only, you say, oh, it's up, so you need to short it. No, for me, that's by stats and everything. It's just a long this morning. I mean, it held over here each time Jalen's and VWAP, so I'm only looking for long plays.
This guy's going up.
Look over here, traders. It's simply uptrending, strong. Still watching also that wedge on Uber, MRNA breaking down 143. RVSN is stuffed over here. You can see the selling started. Now it's stuffed. So stuff is this fast rejection. You know, fast push and then right away dump. These are the setups that we had this morning. So RVSN and really fantastic long, ton of volume. And MRNA and Uber.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not going to short this over here today. To short something like this, it will really need for me to go parabolic.
Joseph, how, I mean, I know you've been doing this for a long time. How do you manage all of these trades and, you know, keyboard shortcuts or just, you know, I mean, when things are moving quickly, there's a lot going on with all these different positions.
Yeah. So it's very hard to, you know, for a new trader to start having more than 2 stocks at the same time to look at. I have a list, for example, in big caps of 30 stocks that every single morning I scan them. And then of course, I run multiple monitors and multiple computers, even because when you start having like Bookmap and multiple brokers and charting softwares and other apps and everything, you know, it slows down the computer a lot. So I would suggest really to divide more computers. Trendline break, you can see over here, but I'm still not looking to short. More computers, right? For example, on one computer you have like Bookmap and charting, and another computer you can have like simply the brokers, right? The second thing is start, you know, with time. You start adding one chart, so one stock or one crypto or one futures as you want, and then you start adding a second one and then a third one. And you will get to a certain point that you'll get confused. Your fields will be worse because it happened to me, right? It happened to me. And you will be like sloppy. So then you have to basically take a step back and, you know, put as many as chart as much you can follow. If you feel like it's too much, it's not good. Your mind has not to be in confusion. Your mind has to be clear and on point. Personally, I follow between 12 and 13 products at the same time, and not only trading stocks over here. For example, also options. And then when I trade, so when I'm in a trade, generally I take maximum 4 position at the same time, maximum. right? Because I'm still a big believer that if I focus on few things at the same time, I'm going to trade definitely better. This is what my stats tell me. So it's something important to I would say to revisit. And also on your monitor, you should have one monitor, okay, with all the stocks there or the products that you trade over there or futures, crypto, whatever. And then like maybe have 10, 12 of them and have alerts. So alarms, you put alarms, and when you see an alert, then you start looking at that and you put it like, for example, I will put it bigger. So like that is a pretty good idea. And for people who have only one monitor or like, two small monitors, having that kind of solution, like, 1, 2, 3, and over here you have like 12, even 16 charts. And then you put alert and you see when the setup triggers, okay, now this will be on all the screen, and you'll put your Bookmap, your broker, and the chart. That's it. And then you can simply trade, stress-free. So some traders were mentioned before RVSN, it's up, let's short it. And for me, it's still not a short right now, even on this trendline break. Why? Because often I see these stocks give me, a fake breakdown, especially with the VWAP, where I know that a lot of traders will try to start shorting and then reclaim and push. So getting near for me to a possible long over here. Again, I'm trading my money, so you don't know how much I'm up today. And therefore, I also know how to now at 1040 to size accordingly in order not from a good green day to pass to a bad red day. So don't follow me. That's the point. Only stay here and learn how I use, for example, Bookmap if we're going to see some good setups. So you see their start bouncing over here, right? And that red one is the VWAP. I keep it red. I always like it red. And now if we start looking for more bars coming in, that will be my setup that I'm looking to long again. Ideally, where to long above 230. So let's see if the market will give us this. If it fades, it's still not a backside over here of the move. Okay, I have tons of charts that it did the same setup and then they pushed back and formed new highs. So they're trying to hold this 224. It seems pretty weak. 15K over here is not that much. We need a little bit more volume. But I mean, this seems a pretty good trap below the VWAP.
Joseph, also, I know you had mentioned, you went through all your reasoning on why you're not positioned in this, which is, well, first off, a note on that. It's excellent to just hear this. Like, you're patient, you know exactly what you're looking for. It's not your setup. You're not going to risk it. You're not going to take it. Sit back, wait and watch.
Yeah.
And
because it's a stock, Bruce, that it's out of my rules.
yeah.
So when it's out of my rules and, I start trading something that I don't feel comfortable with, it will end up bad.
Yeah. On another note, though, like if you zoom out on that candlestick chart there, I'm just kind of curious what you mean by parabolic. It looked pretty damn.
No. Parabolic for me is really something that starts spiking like this in few minutes.
Okay.
Over here, just this is a grinder. This is still a grinder.
Okay.
Even if you look at like this and you're saying, oh wow, this is like went up pretty vertical. Yeah, but it's still a grinder of how it moved.
Okay. Perfect.
Let's look at our traders. Why it's not a backside? Well, first of all, we're still holding the pre-market highs. We're still holding this main level of support. I don't have my strategy that gave me the confirmation. We still have, you see this huge amount of buyers over here, 218, 220. So let's see if we're going to have that long, okay? And this doesn't mean I have bias. I never have bias. but that's a possible scenario based on history. They're testing 221. Look at this 221 traders. So we have traded there 500,000, 238 as well, 243 as well. So you can see below, we traded definitely less. So that's the main key support, 220. You see what I'm talking about? It's here. And now you see all this. They definitely traded less than all over here. You see how these levels are big. So 220 is over here, key area. 219. Trying to hold over here 215. If you break 217, could wash more. So watching. '17 over here, you see they sold traders. So now we have a pretty, we say, yeah, no more big supports below. So Uber, we have a main monthly support. Also intraday support, still below the trend line. Until we're below this trend line, I'm still holding the position. My short is 26 and 75 average. Got it over here on this trend line break. Now I'm trailing everything above 26 and 40, 48, 49. Look, those buyers again that are stepping in each time, 26. Go to a monthly chart, traders, to spot, the support. Always check that bigger time frame. You can see over here, right? Then we have a next one at 21 and 78. You can also use a daily and go back. Sometimes I just use like the monthlies, just a little bit more like you can see the bigger picture. I like that. But amazing today, amazing on Uber. Big win. Personally, for me, big win. And MRNA, it took all the fader. And this was simply very easy to trade as well. You see that red part over here, my chart? This is all the short that I took. I shared also the execution, everything in my room. But this, it's all the short. I'm still holding over here 1/3 right now. My possible target is this 140. I'm looking for the whole Rondel number. I can also put over here MRNA this morning. Even if I want only to share this morning in this Zoom session, in this YouTube session over here, only RVSN and Uber. But I mean, we can just go over here 2 seconds and check this. Okay, this is a trend of today. So look at the open and look at that soak. This was pretty sick, right? So they soaked over here. They pushed into the level of resistance 154. I was watching for this area, 154, and then it simply started to drop. And let's go back on RVSN, which is still, fading over here. I'm not short and I won't be short. So I'm staying with my plan.
Just a note to everybody here. Joseph also trades options, and we are going to have. We haven't scheduled a date yet, but the next Pro Trader webinar. We do this event every quarter, where we have different professional traders come in and discuss their ways of trading and reading order flow in Bookmap. We'll do this event with, I think it'll be exclusive to options trading. So this is the idea moving forward here. I'll have more information about it in the near future. Just wanted to let you guys know about that and about options. A lot of people have smaller accounts. They're looking to trade stocks and options on stocks.
Yeah, we're gonna make some good webinar traders. Also have an ebook to share with you about options, so that would be for everybody. So I smell something over here, and it's not coffee. So I'm looking at RVSN again, if they're gonna reclaim this VWAP. So we have two possible scenarios. Or stuff, okay? In that case, this will simply die. If you have a stuff over here, the VWAP 228 to 30, there's a big possibility that this is gonna die. For example, Snow yesterday did the same, right? If instead, which is what I would like to look for, you have a reclaim of the VWAP and start consolidating over here, then we can expect a push to the upside. Curling down for now, 216, 215. Let's go back on Uber. Again, retest of that 26. Still a ton of buyers this support. Still a ton of buyers.
Joseph, can't you make the market do something?
The market is waiting for the Fed today.
Yeah.
And it's normal to have, beside this earning plays, it's normal to have the market so slow. I mean, I was looking at Tesla this early morning, and we can see it's still in this range. Then I was looking at Apple, and it's still in that range. Then I'm looking at Nvidia, and we have still in this range. I mean, it broke down over here, this trend line, but I'm not favorable trading over here before the Fed talking. I was looking at Facebook, and we have still this range over here. We have a first trend line break, but pretty lateral. The best today was really Uber and MRNA, and I love the earning play. Just simply for me, these are the best plays to take, and also low risk. And I'm looking for that 140 over here. So let's go back on MRNA.
Yeah.
This is solid. This is solid. Those heat map over there are pretty solid, like that.
I mean, I love it, Joseph. Like, you're just waiting to trade your plan. and that's it. There's downtime, and you kind of knew about that already. Yeah, in fact, MC Loco here is asking about any thoughts on market playing out with FOMC later today, or how you may look for your setups during these kinds of events.
Yeah. So generally, I wait the first 5 minutes after the release of the data. So I don't want to get stressed and, get in and out, and maybe I'm getting like stopped immediately from a fast reversal. So I just wait 5 minutes. That's my rule. After 5 minutes, I start seeing if we have a trend, or if we are going into the main support or main resistance, where I can see, for example, the bounce or the rejection. Make an example. We're looking over here at the MRNA, right? And let's say that the data comes out, and we're going to have a dump over here. And now we see that the SPY and ES is bouncing. So I will take this bounce as well over here at this support, I will also put into account using Bookmap FOMC and absorption. And then I was still looking for a bounce to the upside. Okay. So there's really no point for me to start anticipating the data or anything else. There's no point for me to trade exactly the moment that the data was released. I just want to see the reaction, and then I will trade accordingly. It's like when I trade earnings. I never trade, just the second earnings come out. I waited those 4 or 5 minutes to establish the trend and then make a plan accordingly. My best setups are, the bounce plays and the rejection plays during the earnings or during the data that comes out. Okay? Just don't trade a data like this, traders. I mean, or you know what is going to happen, or you will have that 50-50. And I don't really suggest doing that. I've seen a lot of traders getting burnt trading before data, and for me, it's not really worth it. MRNA, a little bit of bounce over here. I'm still short. My average is still pretty good. 151 and 85.
Yeah, great.
So you can see that. Sorry, Bruce.
Oh, no, just great point, Joseph, on that, on the earnings and some of the economic releases like FOMC. This is how you trade. This is based on your setups and your data, and you have an edge. Just put into the chat if you guys are interested in reaching out to JTrader, you can. You've got his email and website there in the chat.
And this morning, I saw a lot of traders around, like surfing the net. They were trying to look at MRNA and, just trade it when the earnings come out. I just wait a little bit. Because imagine that you took this very early, and actually, sorry, we'll do like this. Okay. Imagine that you start taking the trade early. This is when the news come out, or even before the news come out. And then, for example, you will have, a long bias. Oh, wow, this is going up. And, oh, let me take even the dip over here. I'm longing. Oh, wow, support. Let me buy more. By the end of the day, you're down huge. So trust me, I've been following so many traders, and anticipation never works. Wait a little bit more, and then start looking for the setups. For example, the reason why I longed over here, sorry, I short over here this morning, I was looking for this daily level at 150 and 60. And look at this perfect rejection that we had. All right, so the price went exactly into that level. So this is the level that I shorted. And then I took the unwind. If you miss this trade, there are still like possibilities to add. But I mean, you take the first one, that was my risk, and look the outcome over here. And we can still have more. You know, you see that resistance that I traced. You see how it is rejecting over here, right? And at perfect level, you can spot this, and then over here look beautiful, right? You can see over here these are micro exhaustions, and then you can see the seller above, the seller above. So we had to move pushing, 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 like stalling over here, trying to push, stalling, boom, down. So now, if we can have this this break, right? So if we can have this, I'm gonna look for 140. If we're gonna reclaim instead the 145 over here and start curling around 145 and 30, I'm getting out entirely. Not even waiting for this last one over here. I mean, I already took a big chunk of the move, so I don't really need to, you know, bottom tip over here.
Joseph, just a note here. It's entirely your presentation. There's not much going on though. If you you know, you want to cut it a little short today, no problem. We're here to learn from you. But if you know, due to the Fed announcement later, and you don't see much happening, you don't have much to cover, no problem.
Okay. I can think we can still make Bruce 10 minutes, because I just want to see over here if we're gonna have finally this breakdown on Uber. Okay, so let's just like wait 10 minutes, all right, buddy?
Yeah, sure, no problem. It's whatever you like.
So today was a good day. Yesterday I simply didn't have a good day because I did some hotkey errors, and it was really like that. So it was really like frustration, because I was convinced that I had a short position while I had a long position. So I closed red, and today I simply reset, came back, recovered the loss of yesterday, made like I think almost twice more. So every time you have like a bad day, reset. If your mind is not ready to reset, then take even a few days off, or take even, you know, till the next Monday. The point is, you have to have conviction and confidence with yourself, right? It's like when you go on a stage, or when you have a game, or you are the martial art expo and you have like a stage, you have to have conviction and self-confidence. Everything is there. You know, trading is 90% mentality, and trading is 90%, we say, controlling your emotions, controlling yourself. If you don't have this, you know, then the trading becomes very, very hard. Did I have bad losses in my life? Wow, so huge. Frustration and everything. It's normal, you know. And I really over here doubt there are traders who didn't have like bad losses in their lives. If somebody never had big losses, or they're gonna come, or it's just like lying. Is trading gonna change your life? I mean, if you're good, yes. If you're good, yes, and even a lot.
It will if you're
How
bad
many?
too.
Sorry, buddy.
It will if you're bad too, but
Oh yes, exactly. I mean, you have to have a good team behind you. You have to have like support. You have to, have trading buddies. So that's personally works for me. And but then it's simple, like even nice, and you have fun if you know how to trade, and you just wait that Sunday night, that Monday comes, that you can trade, because you know that money will come, you will fun, you stay with your friends. For me, it's just like watching a game with my buddies at home. And yeah, I was watching also Boston and Milwaukee NBA like last night. All right, so now Uber. I'm really like a little bit pissed because it's not showing direction. I mean, this is still like a good point today for us to short. And I said, why did I take this short? I mean, this is my resistance, okay? And I had over here on Uber a very low risk play. It doesn't really matter the win rate, okay? Yesterday I was talking with two traders, and these two traders have both Bookmap. So, and it's not to make publicity on Bookmap, just like they have Bookmap. So they are full-time traders, profitable traders, and we are going over a few things together. And I was basically talking to them. They told me, Jay, we have really like few setups that we trade. And I mean, they trade like more setups, but 2-3 setups, they're giving 90% of their profits, really 90%. So that you don't really need to do so much. And this morning for me was really relying on 2 setups only. And I had this support. And I said, traders, if we go below 2780, I'm looking for a short. And then I saw this 2780 over here. And then I saw this pop over here, 2780. And then fading over here below VWAP. I mean, I really love this. Love this. When I see this, I see the sign of the dollar. Just saying like this seems like easy, but that's a setup that I saw maybe like 5,000 times. I'm not kidding. So I have confidence. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay? The traders I was talking about yesterday, one has 40 and something percent win rate, and one is 80% win rate. Both are profitable. Why? Risk management. So it doesn't really need that you have to have this setup over here working 90% of the times. No, 40% is enough. If every time you take it, you're going to take 4 hours. Got it? So just wait for those. And now, as I said, if we're going to break this 50s over here, I'm going to trail everything out. Maybe 65, half over here and half over here. I always put preset limits for trailing. Let's say computer output over here, the line goes away, off, or whatever. I just need that I have orders to get out. Okay. Razor's asking, Jay, could you talk about Tesla short entries early in the day? I didn't, buddy. I didn't take any trade Tesla entries. Tesla, my number one stock for P&L, even in April, was the stock number one. My win rate on this is simply sick, in the sense that I have very few losses for the last 3 months on Tesla. But today I didn't trade it. So I'm not going to cover something that I didn't trade it. RVSN is still there. Maybe mid-morning reclaim. We'll see that. Yeah, Ryan. Looks dead. You're right, buddy. There's no volume. But if this will start doing like this, careful, because we're going to have this. All right. I don't like to short flow 31%. That's my point, buddy. I simply don't like it. I have it in my rules. I don't like it. This doesn't mean one fade all the way down. If it fades, okay, but fades, I don't care. We still have a few minutes together. If you need to ask something, you're free to ask over here.
Yeah, we have a question from AVP about exhaustion and looking at the cues. And yeah, maybe you can just talk a little bit about that when you see, maybe a retest, exhaustion, etc. Or maybe we can just take a quick look at the cues.
So trading cues, SPY, yes, there are so many products. I can tell everybody that this level for me is not because I have this support over here at 318 is important, but this level is an important technical level for one of my J lines over here that is passing 310. So right now this is support. The short-term trend is bearish. I'm not looking too long right now over here. I'm still staying short. And until I won't have the price going above this line over here, this pink, I'm going to stay short all the time. That's the reason why March and April and the start of the May, 90% of the trades I took in the big caps and medium caps were short. So Razor asking, for Tesla high win rate, what would be your key setups? Buddy, a few key setups that I use. I mean, you can reach out to me in DM. Yes, I always look at yes as the lead, but I can tell you that if you're gonna base yourself on that only because yes is going down, you're gonna trade Tesla, you're gonna be not profitable, because Tesla is often with its particular relative strength. So if the market goes up, and then maybe you have like Tesla going down because you have news or something else. These are part of my J-lines, buddy, and that I simply strictly share, for my mentor traders or who joins my room. All right, guys. So I think we are set. Uber getting out over here, the rest. MRNA getting out over here, the rest. RVSN, we're gonna instead wait for it a little bit more. Anything else, Brew, you need to add?
Yeah, just wanted to remind everybody about that Pro Trader webinar, as well as please subscribe to our channel here and like this video if you like it. That helps us very much. We'll see you again next Wednesday, Joseph. And we'll be doing some more events with Joseph. Look for that in the near future, everybody.
All right. So thank you, everybody, for being here today. Thank you, Bruce. Great host. And thank you, Bookmap. And see you next week. Bye-bye, traders.